guys, welcome to Nate Flows. Hope everyone's having a beautiful day. So welcome to SISSY squat and hip extension level 3. So to go over hip extension really quick, almost already fell in class. As I engage my glutes, okay, my hip bones are going to come forward and up towards the ceiling. So I'm increasing the angle between my chest and my quad. So as I engage my glutes and press my pelvis forward, I'm increasing the angle between my chest and my quads. And also, the more I come into hip extension, the more my legs externally rotate. So it's really important that we keep quad engagement as we come deeper into our hip extension. So for today's class, the strength portion of hip extension is the SISSY squat. And then we'll hit our active static stretches after we do the strength of our SISSY squats. So we're going to break down the SISSY squat into 2 parts, just like we had in the other levels. We're going to start with the bottom portion of the SISSY squat, although we're going to be standing to be building up the strength in the bottom of the SISSY squat. So we're going to do our heel raises. We've done this in level 1 and level 2. Level 2 we use assistance. This we will not be doing any assistance. So we're going to do 8 reps, and at the end we're going to do a static hold, an isometric hold. So we'll go anywhere from 6 to 10 seconds. So go ahead and we'll start with our left foot, okay? We're going to start in mountain to start off, okay? I'm driving the heels down and back, okay? Activating my hamstrings. I'm going to squeeze my quads, engage my glutes to find my posterior pelvic tilt, neutral, posterior, compress my core to press my shoulders. Okay, from here, go ahead and lift the right foot. And now we're going to press through the ball of the foot to lift the heel. And come down. Okay, also you can engage your lats here with shoulder depression, and that's going to lock into your core to help support the whole body weight as we go up. Let's go for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're going to hold for 8, 7, 6, stay active, 5, feel the calf, 3, 2, 1, come down. Alright guys, go ahead and flip around. So you don't have to flip around, you can stay where you want. I'm going to flip around for the right side. Let's go for 8. Go ahead, find your mountain, heels, hammies, quads, glutes, core, shoulder depression. Feel the lats lock into the core and the pelvis. Lift the left foot. Press high for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay active, guys. Start your whole chain. 5, 6, 7. Press through. Last second. 8. Awesome job, guys. So building that calf strength through the Achilles tendon is really going to help for balance with your SISSY squat. So there's 2 more exercises we have that's going to incorporate the bottom part of the SISSY squat. So the second exercise is the toe squat. So we're going to work on the eccentric motion, or the negative, so going down, and then we're going to do partial ranges to help build up that strength. So go ahead and bring your feet width apart as if you were going to come into a ground squat, okay? So with your feet in that ground squat position, go ahead and press up through the toes, okay? So what's tricky about this is as you press up through the toes, as you come down, it's the same form, the hips are in the same form as a ground squat. So you're engaging your glutes, locking that posterior pelvic tilt, stacking the shoulders above the hips as we come down, okay? So let's go for 5. So we're going to press up, lock the posterior pelvic tilt, quads are active, core is compressed, shoulders depressed, and now we're going to bring the glutes down to the heels, okay? Like so. Go ahead and come into your ground squat, press up. Let's go for 4. Heels, posterior pelvic tilt, quads, core, come down. That one was a bit smoother for me. Find your ground squat, press up. And toes, quads, glutes, core, shoulders, calm down. Drop and press. 2 more. Toes, quads, glutes, core, shoulders. Drive through the ball of the foot. Keep the glutes engaged as you come down. Ground the heels. Press up. Last one, guys. Toes, quads, posterior pelvic tilt. Core is compressed. Shoulders depressed. Engage the quads as we come down. Okay. Notice how my shoulders stay stacked above my hips. Come down and up. Beautiful job, guys. So let's do a couple partial ranges. So we're going to add a little bit of the concentric motion, which is going against gravity coming up. So we'll do sets. We'll do 6 reps. We're going to do 2 quarter, 2 half, 2 3/4. So with these partial ranges, it's a good way to keep track of your depth. So it's measurable. So next time you do practice, you can feel out of how deep you've gone in this toe squat stretch. All right, so let's find our ground squat position. Okay, we're going to come up on the toes, engage the quads, posterior pelvic tilt, core compressed. So slowly staying active, we're just going to come down to a quarter position. Shoulders are above my glutes. You see that? So I'm driving through the ball of the foot while my posterior pelvic tilt, press up. Okay, staying on the tippy toes. Come down, we're going to go about a quarter. And press up. Awesome job, guys. So go ahead, shake the legs out. We're going to take a couple Ujjayi breaths here. So sometimes if you see me look or smile, it's like there's glass behind us and people, like I get weird looks sometimes. So keep that in mind if I didn't stare off into space. Okay. Focus up. Let's go ahead. Find our ground squat position. Ball of foot. Quads, posterior pelvic tilt, core, shoulders. Now we're going to go half. So try to find a bit more depth here, okay? I'm going to come down. Press up. Lock the ball of the foot pressing. Okay, go through your chain. Inhale. Come down. Glutes are active. Exhale, press. Rest. Awesome job, guys. So now we're going to do another set of 2. We're going to try to get that 3/4 motion. So slightly above the heels, but not all the way. Okay, so we're using partial ranges to build up that strength. Let's find our mountain. Relax your jaw, drop your tongue. Bring the chin down, lengthen the crown, find your full mountain pose. Inhale through the nose, press through the diaphragm. Exhale, relax. Last set, guys. Ground squat position. Drive through the ball of the foot, activate the quads, posterior pelvic tilt, core compress, shoulder depression. Locking my posterior pelvic tilt as I come down. And we're going to come back up, press through the ball of the foot. Nice and slow. One more, inhale. Exhale, press up. And relax. So, awesome job, guys. Go ahead and meet me on the ground. And you are going to need 2 yoga blocks for this. I forgot to say that in the beginning of class, but you're going to need 2 yoga blocks and either a blanket towel or the gliders, because we're going to do some hamstring curls later. So these yoga blocks are going to be next to the hips, and we're going for the knee extension. So in level 2, we extended both knees with the hands planted, but now we're going to practice alternating arms as we lift to build up that strength. So having the blocks next to your hips, you're going to find your ground squat, okay? So I'm driving through the heels, down and back to activate the hamstring. Quads are active, my posterior pelvic tilt, core compress, shoulder depression, okay? And so as I lean forward, okay, as I drive through the ball of the foot, bringing my knees towards the mat, I find my hip extension. So I activate my glutes, pressing my hips up towards the ceiling to lift my butt away from my heels. So I'm here. Okay, so the more you hip extend, right, the more the legs are going to externally rotate and the more quad activation it requires to stay stable. Okay, so we're going to go for a set of 6, 3 each arm, alright? So go ahead, find your ground squat, have the blocks next to the hips, nice and grounded. Find your toe squat, okay, coming up on the ball of the foot, drive through the ball of the foot, grounding the knees, okay, as far as comfortable. Hip extension, engage the glutes, pelvis comes up towards the ceiling. Go ahead and lift the left arm. We're going to hold for 3, 2, 1. Ground the left hand. Ground the glutes back towards the heels. Find your ground squat. We got 5 more, guys, okay? Inhale, come up towards the toe squat. Okay, press away from the blocks. Exhale, drive through the ball of the foot. Okay, knees come into external rotation from the quads, hip extension, glutes are active, core is active, shoulders are still depressed. Inhale, lift the right arm. We're going to go for 3, 2, both glutes are pressing high. 1, ground the right hand, slowly come down. Inhale, toe squat. Exhale, press through the ball of the foot. Externally rotate the knees, quads active, hip extension. Hips are coming high. Inhale, lift the left arm for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, ground the hand, butt back to toe squat, ground squat. Here we go. Inhale, press away from the blocks. Come to your toe squat. Drive through the ball of the foot, okay? That's pressing down into the mat to stay stable. Knees externally rotation. Quads are super active here to protect the knees. Hip extension to protect the lumbar spine, the lower back, core is tight, and the pelvis. Inhale, lift the right arm for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, slowly come down, toe squat, and relax. So remember, as I come into hip extension, guys, my pelvis, my glute activation is lifting my pelvis off my heels towards the ceiling. 1 more each side, guys. Ready? Inhale, press away from the blocks. Toe squat, ball the foot grounded. Drive the knees towards the mat. Quads active, hip extension, lifting them off the heels towards the ceiling. Core is tight. Shoulder depression, lift the left arm for 3, 2, 1. Ground the left hand, toe squat, ground squat. Beautiful job, guys. Last one. Inhale, toe squat. Exhale, find your hip extension. Activate the quads, lift the glutes towards the ceiling. Right hand comes high for 3, 2, 1. Ground the right hand, toe squat, ground squat. And put the blocks to the side. We can relax for a moment. Alrighty, guys, so those are the 3 exercises that's really going to build strength at the bottom of the SISSY squat. So now we're going to work on the top portion of the SISSY squat, which is going to be our leg extension. So that first one, driving the knees towards the mat, is the knee extensions, and now we're going to practice leg extensions where the top of the foot and the knees grounded. We practice the strength of our hip extension as the crown of the head and spine come behind us. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring the big toes together, splay the knees out to what's comfortable. Okay, and remember, as you find depth in the hip extension and the spine curls back, you're going to require extra quad strength to support the external rotation as the legs rotate, finding deeper hip extension. So let's go ahead and we're going to find a mountain pose through the knees, right? So I'm pressing my knees away from my mat, engaging my glutes for a posterior pelvic tilt, okay, protecting my pelvis. Core compression, tightening my core to protect my lumbar, my lower back. Shoulder depression to engage my lats and protect my thoracic spine. So as I keep this shape, I'm going to come down, locking this position. But as my glutes approach my heels, you're going to have to find hip extension to open up the upper back to find depth in your leg extensions. So let's go for 3 to 5. We'll feel it out. As I come back, the top of my foot is pressing away from the mat. Quads are active for that external leg rotation. Hips come into extension, pressing my hip bones up towards the ceiling, core is tight, shoulders stay depressed and retracted, right? So that retraction strength is going to help protect the upper back as I find a deeper hip extension. Okay, enough of me talking, here we go. Feet, quads, posterior pelvic toe, core compression, shoulder depression here. From here, let's find our hip extension, retract the shoulders, find depth, come back up. Okay, we're gonna go for 4, so that was 3. Okay, top the feet press away from the mat, engage the quads. For now, posterior, compression, depression. We're gonna come here. Now hit your hip extension, keep the core active, press the glutes up towards the ceiling, retract the shoulders, depress them, come down, and back up. 2 more. Follow your cues, feel your body, practice your depth. Okay? Top of the feet pressing away, quads come, glutes, core, hip extension, press through, core is active, retraction, depression of the shoulders, come back up. So to come back up, my glutes are the base, guys. So that hip extension with the quads and pressing away with the top of the feet from the mat is gonna allow me to have that strength to come back up. Let's do 1 more. Press away from the mat with the top of the feet, drive the knees into the mat, engage the quads, come back, hip extension, core, contraction, retraction, depression, and come back up. Awesome, guys. So that's gonna really help build the quad strength for the top of the sissy squat. So level 3 is kind of tough because now we're going to practice the eccentric of the sissy squat coming down. So all we're going to do is we're going to come into a full sissy squat, but we're going to just be coming down. And then we'll do partial ranges. So go ahead and meet me in a standing position. So for the sissy squat form, you kind of want the ground squat is where I like a guy to have my heels. So as I come into my ground squat like so, okay, my knees are going to externally rotate and so are my heels. So my heels are going to come together, but that external rotation is going to allow me to have strength for that hip extension and for me to balance out my body. So I'm going to show you a negative and then we'll do sets of 2 to 3. So as I come into my negative, okay, I found my ground squat formation. I come onto the tippy toes. Quads are active, posterior pelvic toe, core compression, shoulder depression. And now as I bring the knees towards the mat in that external rotation, I'm going to use my glutes to find that hip extension to lock and protect my pelvis and spine as I come into my sissy squat. So we're going to come down, we're here like so, and then we're going to come to our toe squat, ground squat, back up. Okay, so it's quads, hip extension, core stays active, shoulders stay depressed and retracted as I come down. Let's go for 2 more. Ground squat formation, tippy toes, quads, active glutes, core compression, shoulder depression, retraction. Go ahead, come down. Now hit your hip extension, okay? Quads are active to keep the external rotation. We're coming down. Toe squat, ground squat, press up, okay? So remember in the toe squat, I now shift from that hip extension, posterior pelvic tilt, lock my posterior pelvic tilt into ground squat, press back up. Last one here, guys. So we're here. All right, remember, tippy toes, quad, activation for that leg external rotation, glutes for coming into hip extension, quad or core is tight, shoulders are tight, let's come down. Now practice our hip extension as I'm coming, toe squat, ground squat, press up. Awesome job, guys. So for our last exercise, we're going to practice partial ranges. So what we're going to do is we'll just do 1 set of a quarter, half, 3/4. So partial ranges are, once you get the negative down, it's a great way to continue to build up strength for your full sissy squat. So, ground squat position, okay? I like to externally rotate my feet a little bit. Helps me get more into the quads. So tippy toes, quads, posterior pelvic tilt, core compression, shoulder depression, retraction, come down. Okay, just hit your hip extension, all right? So practice pressing through the glutes towards the ceiling, holding this. And now walking this position, we come back up to our tippy toes, ground the heels. Okay, let's do 1 rep, going half. Come up on the tiptoes. Engage the quads, posterior pelvic tilt, core compression, depression. Come down. Now find your hip extension. We're going to come a little bit lower. Press up to the tiptoes. Ground the heels. Alright guys? So now let's come for our 3/4. Ground squat position. Come up on the tiptoes. Now those heel raises make sense, right? Done a lot of them. So engage the quads. Glutes active, core compression, depression, retraction. Come down. Pressing the glutes and the pelvis up towards the ceiling. We're going to go for 3/4. Lock here. Press up in the same shape. Tiptoes. Ground the heels. Alright guys. So that's all we have for the strength part of our sissy squats. So we are going to do some hamstring pulls like I promised to kind of build up into our back bends. So using your towel or the gliders, I'm going to use the gliders here, we're going to come into our hamstring pulls. So remember, the heels come onto the gliders because that's where your force is coming from. Okay, so you want to be able to press through your heels on the gliders as they slide. So let's go ahead and come to our bridge. Okay, bring the heels as close to the glutes as you can. What do I do? I'm just kidding. So now we're going to engage. We're going to find a posterior pelvic tilt to flatten the lower back, core compression, shoulder depression, and retraction, right? We're rolling the shoulder blades into retraction. Plant the hands here. And so now we press down and back through the heels, right? 2 motions through the heels to activate that hamstring. Hips come into extension, right? Glutes active to press the hips up towards the ceiling. Core is tight, we're in a retraction. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna lift my right arm, I'm gonna extend both legs out, come back, and then we're gonna switch. Okay, so let's do 2 sets. No, we're gonna do 2 sets of 4. I'm sorry that took so long. Okay, inhale, lift the right hand, extend both legs. So as I extend both legs, hip extension is locked. Exhale, pull back, ground the arm. Inhale, lift the left hand, extend both heels, pressing down, engage the glutes for extension, quads are locked. Exhale, pull back, ground. 1 more each side. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, squeeze, come down. Last one, guys. Inhale. Okay, so what lifting the arm does is it deactivates the lat a little bit, so it requires more core strength to support your hip extension. Okay, so inhale, lift, extend, exhale, pull back, and ground. Tuck the chin, slowly roll each vertebrae, starting from the top, coming down. Okay, we're gonna take 2 Ujjayi breaths here, and then we're gonna start our second set. Okay, so remember, we're using our Ujjayi to slow our heart rate, okay? Feel your muscles relax, feel the oxygen and blood get to your body through your exhale. So when I inhale, the blood's coming to my heart, and as I exhale, the blood's going to my body. So just keep that in mind as you breathe. Alrighty, folks. Heels pressing down and back. Quads are active. Hip extension, driving through my glutes. Core compression. Roll into shoulder retraction, depression. Hands are grounded. Inhale, lift the right arm. Extend the knees. Lock your hip extension. Exhale, pull through the heels. I'm pressing the heels down and back as I lock my extension. Go ahead and ground. 3 more, guys. Inhale, lift the left arm, extend. Hold your hip extension, pressing down through the heels. Exhale, pull and ground. Inhale, extend, pull, ground. Last one. Inhale, extend, hold, heels for retraction. Exhale, pull, and ground. Tuck chin, slowly roll the vertebrae down. Core is tight as I'm rolling my spine down, okay? Extra lumbar protection. And now, guys, it's time to get flexible. Not only flexible, but mobile, right? Mobility is strength through flexibility, flexibility through strength. So, we're gonna work on our full bow pose, bringing the feet down on top of the shoulders. So, in level 3, what we're gonna do is we're gonna isolate each arm and we're gonna practice the external rotation of bringing the elbow above head. So instead of me blabbling, let's just do some action. So, coming on our stomach, grounding the pelvis, our right elbow is going to be grounded underneath our right shoulder, and I'm going to bring that hand across for support. So in level 2, we grabbed here, and then we pulled up. So you need the ankle and wrist flexibility in order to grab the outside of the foot. So my hand threads underneath my foot, okay, to grab the inside of the big toe joint. So in order to start the rotation of our full bow, you need to be able to grab the foot like so. So now what's going to happen is I'm going to press through my foot, and I'm going to actively bring my shoulder into elevation. So I'm pressing my shoulder up towards my ear as I grab my foot, pressing through my quad and the top of the foot. And then we're going to hold. So engage the heel towards the glute. Right elbow and hand are grounded. Grab the inside near the big toe joint, okay? So I like to wrap my thumb around. You're gonna come here, lift, press through the top of the foot, elevate the shoulder, okay? And then we're gonna come here. Okay, so it's a nice lat stretch. My quad is active, pressing up, okay? And now from here, once you use elevation to get here, you're gonna engage your lat to bring the foot down towards the shoulder. But you're continuously engaging the glute and the quad, pressing through the top of the foot as you pull using your lat to bring the foot towards the shoulder, okay? So the more you press through the glute, the more you can bring it down. So use your breath. We're gonna go for 6, 5, 4, find depth. You can lift the chin. 3, 2, 1. So now, once again, you're gonna depress the shoulder, lock the shoulder, relax, you're gonna ground the knee, and slowly come out of that rotation. Okay? So we're just gonna do one of those. Let's go ahead and do the other side. So, ground the left elbow underneath the left shoulder, left hand is kind of supporting a wobble. Bring the right heel towards the right glute. I'm gonna grab the inside of the foot here, like so. Thumb wraps around, okay? Press through the quad and the top of the foot. Elevate the shoulder, press high, okay, from here. So we're gonna stretch out the lat a little bit before we go here. So once we're here, I engage the glute, the quad, press through the top of the foot. Now use my shoulder depression to pull the sole of the foot towards the shoulder, okay? You can lift the chin. I'm gonna go for 6, 5, 4, depress, pull, press through the top of the foot, depress, pull, 3, 2, 1. Now, go ahead. You can Depress the shoulder, round the right knee, slowly come out of that twist. Alrighty guys, so that was practice for our full wheel. So our second is the camel, which the sleeping camel is the full one. So we're going to do camel and prayer pose, practicing that hip extension, curling the crown of the head towards the heels. So let's bring the feet together, okay, and I'm going to stack my toes like so. Okay, so mountain pose, or you know what, let's splay the knees. Yeah, kind of similar to the leg extensions, except we're going to stack the toes. Alright, so first let's find a mountain pose through our knees. So pressing the knees away from the mat, engage the quads, posterior pelvic tilt, core compression, shoulder depression. I'm going to bring my hands to prayer. So now as I curl the crown of my head towards my heels, I'm going to have that booty strength, guys, that glute activation for that hip extension to safely protect my pelvis going back, right? Core contraction, right, is going to protect your lumbar spine, and that retraction depression is going to protect your thoracic. Lift the chin, open the throat as we go back. We might do it for sets. Let's just see. All right, stack the toes, splay the knees out, engage the quads, posterior pelvic tilt, core compression, depression, prayer pose. Lift the chin. Okay, as we curl, engage the glutes and quads to lock that external rotation and hip extension, pressing the hips up towards the ceiling. We're going to come down, hold, and back up. So let's do two more. Remember, that mobility comes from the strength of my flexibility, okay? The glute activation through my hip extension. Inhale, lift the chin, quads, glutes, toes pressing away. Exhale, come up. One more. Inhale, lift the chin. Go through your chain as you inhale, okay? Imagine all the muscles working together to make your body work as a unit. As you inhale, lock it in, curl, exhale, come back up. Alrighty, last one, guys. We're going to work on our wheel. So level 2, we have the top of the head on the mat. So now we're going to extend the arms, and I'm going to show you a full wheel. We're going to do one set of this as well. So let's find our bridge. The bridge is a huge basis for a lot of back bends. So heels pressing down and back as close to the glutes as possible. Quads are active. Hip extension, driving my glutes towards the ceiling. Core compression. Plant the hands, retract the shoulder blades, rolling into retraction. So now from here, I'm going to bring my hands where my fingertips are pointing towards my shoulder blade, and then my elbows are stacked above my wrists, okay, facing towards the ceiling. So as I lock my legs and glutes into that bridge extension, I'm going to press through my palms to come on top of my head. Hands don't move, feet don't move. So now from here, I'm going to press through my palms again, locking my bridge position, coming all the way up. So now what I want you to do from here is press through your heels. And I'm pressing my chest towards this wall, okay? So I'm trying to stack my shoulders above my wrists by not adjusting my feet or hands, but by pressing through, okay? So now from here, I've locked my hip extension, quads are still active, pressing through my heels. Core is tight, so now my shoulder position is elevation, right? I'm pressing my shoulders towards my ears and retraction. So as I press through, I'm elevating the shoulders and retracting to bring my shoulders above my wrist. Can you see that? While my bridge position is locked, we're gonna hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, tuck the chin, okay? Slowly come down to the back of the head. Lock your bridge, tuck your chin even more. Slowly roll the top of the vertebrae all the way down and come out. So guys, it's a matter of locking your bridge position, pressing through the heels, and then coming into that elevation of retraction to open up into the thoracic spine and bring the shoulders over the wrist. Well, that's all I have today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Seriously, I love the support, and I love how I can do this, and I love how I can teach and help others, and let's grow together. Namaste.